What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is another tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So this is going to be another tier list of the best cards in a position in 2K21 MyTEAM, and in this video we are going to be going over the centers. And my god, is this position bad. I'm sorry, like, this position is terrible. There are some elite centers, don't get me wrong. And you guys will see the ones that I consider elite. I think I'm going to have 5 of them in S tier because I believe they are the elites. But my god, is this position horrendous after like the top 10 in the game. As far as budget guys go, the budget guys can barely compete. There are, like, you're paying at least, it's the only position where you've got to pay at least 50k to get a card that can even attempt to guard the best in their position. Like at the point guard position, you can guard Simmons and stuff with Bonga. He's 5k MT. At the 2 guard position on the wings, you can get a good few like 5k MT players, like Brian Russell. I'm trying to think of who else there is. But there are some good really good wings that can play some nice defense. Power forward position, we just got a Scalabrine card. And he was kind of the first real one of them type of cards coming out of that position. Center position, man. I mean, Mo Bamba's alright, but no clamps, no range. Like, how's he not going to get eaten alive by Anthony Davis? I get he's got 88 speed, but like, come on. Come on, 2K. We got to get another center. Like, I don't think they... One thing is, I expected them to think... I expected that they thought that Amethyst Dino was going to be like 15k instead of 70k. And that is kind of a big reason why the center position is kind of... like, if that card was 15k, it would change my opinion. But, anyway. Now let's get on to it. Alonzo Mourning, we're starting off, he's A tier. Mourning's good, man. Like, no, is there a point of using him because he's like over 100k? Like, he's more expensive than Boogie and he's more expensive than Dino. So, and he's like objectively worse than both of them. So is there any point using him? No, but he's good. Like, his release is pretty alright. Like, set shot 18 is not the greatest release, but on quick, sorry, set shot, he's got one, I don't know what, he's a one of the set shots. Is it 15? It's either 16, 17, or 18, I think. But it's actually a really nice release on quick. He's also got good speed. He's got really good interior offense. His interior defense really good. He's a good rebounder. A little bit small, 6'10", but overall he's A tier. Anthony Davis, S tier. AD is definitely, he's a good card. Like, he's a good card, lads. So Anthony Davis, like, as far as shooting the ball goes, he's elite. As far as dribbling the ball goes, for a center, he's very good. He's got that normal two behind the back. His release is really nice. Both gens, he's exceptional. And you can definitely make the argument that he's the number 1 card in the game. Like, there are a lot of good cards. On next gen, I think it's a no-brainer. Kawhi's the best card in the game. But on current gen, you can make an argument that AD is the best card in the game. Him and Akeem Olajuwon, it is just preference. They're both really good. They are really good. So then we got Bam Adebayo. Like, I'm so used to listening to Kendrick Perkins. I'm so used to joking about Kendrick Perkins calling him Bam Adebayo that I'm now mispronouncing Bam Adebayo's name. But yeah, so he is a not great shooter. Defensively, he's good. He's quick enough. I think later on in the year we're gonna get a good Bam card. I just don't think this card is it. I don't think he's terrible. Like, I don't think he's terrible. And as far as like cheap or like mid-tier centers go, he's not the worst in the world to use. But, yeah, he just would not be my choice. Then we have got the garbage man himself. The guy that is on, he will be on. He's going to keep being on these tier lists. There has never been a player that has annoyed me more than this card. The guy can't shoot a mid-range. The guy can't shoot a 3. The guy can't shoot a free throw. Heck, the guy can barely score a layup. He's a 6'9" center, so he's undersized. And this guy, it was so much of a stress grinding in Season 1 for his XP that he literally made me give up on the grind for Steph Curry. There is no card in this game I hate more. There's no card in the history of 2K I hate more than this Ben Wallace. You get into worthless. You absolutely horrible card. Then we have got Bill Russell, A tier. A lot of people would say Bill Russell's closer. Actually, I don't think anyone would say Bill Russell's closer to Anthony Davis and Alonzo Mourning. Bill Russell is definitely underrated. Like, he's very similar to like a Will Chamberlain in terms of stats, release-wise, badges-wise. He's got hot zones in the corner. which is actually pretty good because you can put some shooting badges on him. Even though he does only have a 70 shot 3, he will still hit occasionally. Defensively, he's elite. He's like, basically, he's like, imagine if Dennis Rodman was 3 inches taller and could play center. That's basically what you're getting in Bill Russell. Not a player I'd use, but I know some people like him. Walton. I mean, there's a lot of bad cards on this list. I'm putting Walton in C. Walton sucks, by the way. Walton absolutely sucks. But you know what? He can like drop step people. He plays a little bit of interior defense. He can hit a mid-range. And like, you might be thinking, oh, how is that C tier? This position sucks. Like, this position absolutely sucks. Just as a little bit of a heads up, our list includes Amethyst Porzingis, Amethyst Karl Anthony Towns, Sim Voular, the awful Gobert, Bol, and Nate Thurman and Camby. Nate Thurman's not awful though. Nate Thurman's like similar level to Bill Walton, to be honest. But yeah, it's a bad list. It's a bad list, lads. That's all I'm gonna say. Bob Lanier, you're in D tier. Bob Lanier, bad release. Actually, not the worst release. He's small. Was fast for day one. Like, Bob Lanier, I mean, we can't forget, day one, even people that had Bob Lanier, we were using the Ruby, what's his name instead? We were using Ruby, Bill Lambier, instead of Bob Lanier. Like, he was just not that dude. He really wasn't. And that was day one. He is just not it. He is just not good. If you got him day one, fair play. You had a ping time before anybody else. But yeah, he's not good. The Ascension word for week 1. Bol. I mean, bad list. Bol's C tier, I guess. Bol's not a great card. He's like a worse version of the Amethyst Porzingis, but I mean, C tier. Definitely better than Lanier. Definitely not as good as Bam. Okay, then we have got Brook Lopez, Chris Bosh. These are two guys that I will always put in the same tier. I believe Chris Bosh is better. Chris Bosh in current gen might be closer to A tier than he is to S tier. Or sorry, than he is to B tier. Like Chris Bosh in current gen is the best player in B tier. Brook Lopez on next gen is the best player in B tier. Still, neither of them are good. Neither of them are good. Like, when I've tried, like, I had to get rid of both of them in my squad. I was running Chris Bosh at one stage. Before I got Dino, when I was trying to play on current gen, any sort of, like, even moderately competitive 2K, I was trying to use Chris Bosh and Sabonis. And, like, the difference between Chris Bosh and Sabonis are night and day. Like, Sabonis is somewhat usable. Chris Bosh is just not. He doesn't rebound particularly well, even though stats say he should. His interior game is alright, but yeah, he's not it. Trust me, Chris Bosh. At this stage in the game, go save your MT, save up an extra 50k and get Dino. Like, the gap is so big between the two of them. But still, though, for his price, Bosh is one of the best centers in the game, can't lie. For his price, he's not terrible. And I just realized, of all the centers, we forgot to put in Mo Bamba. We forgot to put Mo Bamba on the list. Mo's B tier. Mo Bamba's B tier. He's better than these guys, not as good as these guys. He's B tier. And we got Clint Capella. I mean, he's good defensively, I guess. Like, Clint Capella he's got some positives. He's not the worst card in the world. This is a tough one. Where I'm gonna put Clint Capella. Like, he's fast. He can't shoot the ball at all, but he can catch lobs. And he's very good on defense. So I'm gonna put him high B tier. I would be tempted to put Clint Capella. He's just like a worse shooting Bill Russell, but he's a kind of underrated defensive player. He's very good in that role. Clint B tier. Dave A. I don't like Dave anymore. I really don't like Dave anymore. I'll be the first to say that. I don't think he's a great card right now, but I think it's hard to not put the guy in A tier. Like, he still can kind of shoot the ball. Can't dribble at all, but he can still kind of shoot the ball. He can still play fairly decent defense. And yeah, he's like a much worse version of Bill Russell. Ayton, A. Badge up Ayton's definitely A. His only downside is that speed's like 75. His release is really good. He can get clamps and his player model is huge. Both gens. No question about it. If you can find a ranged up DeAndre Ayton for an affordable price, he's a very good card. Like, he would be like the closest thing to like a budget guy. Actually, no, he can't. He doesn't have good enough lateral points to deal with an AD, but still, though, he's just an overall nice card. Especially when you range him up, in my opinion, he's a lot better than a Chris Bosh. He's a lot better than a Chris Bosh or Brook Lopez. Then we have got DeMarcus Cousins S tier. Boogie is, if you don't like his release, don't use him. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, Boogie's a love it or hate it card. But anyone, even if you don't like Boogie, you have to admit, if somebody knows how to use Boogie's release, the guy is a beast. Boogie can dribble. He plays really good defense because his player build is so wide. He's got quick first step. He can run the floor really well. His stats are ridiculous. His lateral quickness is insane for a center. He's also got range extender and a release which is not objectively bad. It's because it's fast. It's just a release that some people don't like. Not the greatest of quick stop though. I'll be the first to say that. If you're trying to quick stop with him on current gen, Boogie's release is not it. Next gen, which is a lot less reliant on the quick stop, his release is very, very nice in my opinion. But DeMarcus Cousins definitely in there as kind of the best of the rest. Like, for me, there are 3 top centers: Anthony Davis, Hakeem, and Mikhail. And then there are 2 others that are like on kind of the edge of being top 5 centers. And I think Boogie is one of those 2 that are like on the edge because he does everything. He does absolutely everything. Like, yes, someone like a Bill Russell is better on defense. Yes, someone like a Chris Bosh is better at shooting, but he just does everything at an elite level. And yes, Bill Russell's probably a better point center. He's just elite at everything. Then we have got Dino Raja. Speaking of the other 2 players, Dino Raja is that guy. Dino is, in my opinion, the number 4/5 best center in the game. The Boogie versus Dino debate is real. Like, it is personal preference who you prefer. First of all, you got to put clamps on Dino. So clamps is not a cheap badge. Like, it costs, what does it cost? It's like 15-20k to clamp someone up, unless you can buy one of him with clamps. So if you want to play with him on current gen, you gotta buy clamps. His length makes up for the fact that he's got low lateral, because he's got that unbelievable wingspan. Like, he gets boards. He's the best rebounder I've used. He gets boards over everybody. He's the best shot blocker in the game. Just straight up. There's no, I don't think any, actually, Manute Bol exists and Mo Bamba exists. So I'm not going to say he's a better shot blocker than them. And also Kevin McHale's just like slightly better Dino. But in my opinion, best shot blocker in the game. He's also one of the best rebounders in the game. He's got really nice speed. Just a really good card in general. And yeah, I get it, he's an amethyst. He's still way better than those guys in A tier. He is way better than those guys in A tier. Then we have got Sabonis. Sabonis. I like Sabonis more than most people. I'm putting Sabonis in A tier. Most people do not like Sabonis anywhere near as much as I do. Like, if you guys saw me play in 250k, like, Dino, I would give Dino a rest for Sabonis. And Sabonis would be chipping in, playing a quarter of a game with like 6 points, 2 blocks, a rebound. If you guys watch me playing 250, you guys know how much I like the Sabonis card. If you guys are watching my 2K for free series, you know how much success I'm having with Sabonis on next gen. He is by no means, he's the worst card in A tier right now. I will say that right now. He is the worst card in A tier. And I don't think it's particularly close. But in my opinion, he is that step above a Chris Bosh, and he's that step above a Brook Lopez. You can argue Clint Capella's better if that's your style. I'm not going to argue against that. And you might argue that he's closer to a Chris Bosh, for example, than he is to anyone in A tier. But for me, I think he is very, very similar to a DeAndre in terms of overall level. It's just he's a little bit underrated. I don't know what it is about him. Like, small wingspan, he shouldn't be good. His release isn't great, small wingspan. He shouldn't be good, but he is. He also has some of the best dunk animations in the game. Like, I can't be the only one to notice that he catches, like, the amount of contacts he gets. On next gen, he gets some amount of ridiculous, like, contact alley-oops. I don't know what's wrong. Like, he doesn't have flashy dunk packages if you're looking at them. Like, he doesn't have them. So I don't know what it is, but he just gets the most ridiculous contact dunks in the game. Okay, Dwight Howard, B tier, but he's a good B tier. Dwight's a good B tier player. He's very similar to Clint Capella. And comparing the stats, he's very similar to Clint Capella. Capella, I think, is a little bit more defensive badges. Dwight Howard's just overall a little bit better. But yeah, Clint Capella in same tier as Dwight. George Mikan, C, but he's the best player in C by a long shot. I think I'm gonna move these 2 down. These 2 are going down to D tier. Let's actually, we're about 14 minutes in. Let's fill out the scrubs. Worthless tier. Sim, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sim. You were a god in 2K16. You're worthless in this game. This Rudy Gobert is worthless. Anyone else? Not really. I mean, Ralph. Ralph has got Huff Drop Stepper on next gen, which is one of the most ridiculously OP badges in the game. If you know what you're doing. So Ralph's going D tier. So he's not quite. Porzingis, wherever Bobo. Porzingis is way better than Mike on next gen. I think Porzingis C tier is probably the right spot for him. He's just better Bobo. Cat. I don't mind him, but he's not as good as this Porzingis. Like, both of them awful current gen. Porzingis way better next gen. Brook Lopez based on normal timing is so good on next gen. Brook Lopez based on normal timing on next gen is better than Brook Lopez based on quick timing. I'm just gonna say that right now, because like it's fine getting it off on normal timing, and also you don't get the weird load ups like you do on quick. All right, anyone else belong in the lower tiers? Ewing and Thurmond. Thurmond is like, I'm gonna move Bam down a tier as well. Yeah, this tier looks better because Porzingis only for next gen. Like, Ewing can just eat people alive inside. Like, Ewing is still a beast in terms of interior centers. So I'm gonna put him here. Okay, and then Vlade Divac. Vlade going to C tier. Vlade's he's not as bad as people said. He's not good by any means. Like, if you weren't going for Baron Davis, there was no point grinding for him. But like, Baron Davis has become the most underrated card in the game. I'm sorry, he just has. Like, everybody talking about Baron Davis like he's just this absolute bum point guard, when in reality he's like somewhere between 10 and 15 in the game. Like, I get it. He's not as good as Bonga, who's 5k MT, but like, for the time, that Baron Davis is a top 5 point guard in the game. Let's be real. It's not like it was well more worth the grind than say going for Rafer Alston or something. Because Baron Davis is still good to this day on next gen, not great current gen. But then we got Hakeem Diamond. I like Hakeem Diamond. Maybe because I play more next gen than current gen, but Hakeem Diamond again, he can bully people. He's got insane drop post game. He's got insane drop stepping. And I don't know, post game means a little bit more. Like, you can't necessarily post hook like 2K20, but like just overall having post skill matters a lot more on next gen than it does in current gen. So Hakeem in B tier. This Hakeem S tier. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Let's put Mikhail in there. We got our S tier full. These guys I think are a level ahead. These guys are a level above. And I'm going to talk about Wilt because I know for a fact people are going to be asking me, what about Wilt? What about Wilt? Wilt can't shoot it. Wilt can't shoot. The reason why these guys, in my opinion, are in S tier is they do everything. Like, they do everything. What is the weakness on any of these big guys in S tier? What is the weakness? They can all rebound well. Like, maybe Dino Raja isn't a dominant interior post player. That's the only thing. Like, he's not going to get bullied. Like, neither Dino or Mikhail are going to get bullied because they got that 7'11" wingspan. But DeMarcus Cousins is one of the best player builds in the game. Hakeem Olajuwon and AD is just a no-brainer. Mikhail, again, an absolute no-brainer. Him being S tier. And for me, Wilt Chamberlain has a weakness. Like, he can't shoot, and it's not like a Ben Simmons where he can just dominate despite not being able to shoot. He can't shoot, and that is a big, big problem on a center. Like, yes, he's a great, great role man, but he's a similar level to Bill Russell, and in my opinion, it's personal preference which of Bill Russell and Wilt you'll take. Most people will take Wilt, myself included, but there are a few, if you're on current gen and you're one of those running players, that would take Bill Russell, and you are not wrong if you want Russell. But in my opinion, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain are a lot closer to a Alonzo Mourning or a DeAndre Ayton than they are to any of these guys up top. However, yeah, there is quite a big difference between him and Sabonis. But I do believe I might move Sabonis down. Embiid, yeah, I'm gonna move Sabonis down. Sabonis, as much I've already made my point on how good I think Sabonis is, but he's definitely a tier lower. Because we got Embiid, who, when you put clamps on Embiid, he's just very similar to Ayton. I think I would take Embiid over Not I think. I would take Embiid over Ayton, but it's very, very close. It is very, very close between these two guys. Then we got Kareem. I mean, Kareem's player model is the big thing with him. He's definitely better than all these guys. He's B tier. He's definitely B tier. Kareem, his player model is ridiculous. On next gen, the amount of stuff you can do just because he's Kareem. And we don't know it yet because this is the best version of Kareem we have. But when we do get our Opal Kareem, like eventually we will get an Opal Kareem that'll be like 25 half badge Opal Kareem with like a 75 3 ball. And people will not people will know then just how good Kareem is going to be in 2K. Like his wingspan, his player build, everything about Kareem since 2K16 when he came into the game has been unbelievable. Like even this Kareem not being able to shoot can still absolutely dominate inside in the right hand. So yeah, one of without question the more underrated cards in the game. And while it's one of those situations where I'll say it, like this version of Kareem's not great, but you better believe there will be a version of Kareem that will be great. Porzingis, A tier. Porzingis is again another really nice card. Shoots the ball really well, got that half range, can get clamps very, very quick. 7'3" with a decent wingspan. Like he's not a perfect card. Again, I don't like Brook Lopez base on quick. He gets weird load ups. He's not as good as Dino in my opinion. Some people will take him like some people will definitely argue Dino down and these three guys up. I'm the opposite. I have these three guys down and Dino up. Porzingis, I just can't get used to that release. And that is the only problem with me and Porzingis. He's not the greatest dribbler in the world either. And yeah, I'll just give me Dino or Porzingis any day. Don't even know why. Like, but Porzingis should be better, but for me, he's not. Marc Gasol. Gasol, A tier. Gasol's really good. He's like very similar level to Alonzo Mourning. Like you can't necessarily compare them, but he's the same release as Hakeem. He's a really good pick and pop jump shooter. He's got moderately good speed. He's a good defender. He's 7'1", which is nice. I think later on in the year we're gonna get an insanely good Marc Gasol. Just judging by the way he is, he actually moves quite well as well. Like when I was using him in a gameplay, I was using him as a primary ball handler, and he actually moved well. I think he comes with range. He's got a lot of good things going for him. And while yeah, like this card is very, very good, and I'm telling you later on in the year, when we do eventually get a good Marc Gasol, Marc Gasol, he's gonna be very, very good. Marcus Camby, D. He's like worse Ewing. He was fine. Like he was fine and usable when he came out. I mean, he's just bad now. Like, is he he's no different than Bill Walton. He's in D tier. Thon. Man, Thon, I love you on next gen. If we're putting like you're worthless tier on current gen. Like he gets eaten alive. He can't play defense. He's basically just another Bol on current gen. Although on next gen the guy's a beast. So if you want to say here on next gen, here on current gen, that's probably the most accurate assessment of him. But I just want to fill out D tier a little bit more. So you're going into D tier. Then we got Rudy Gobert. I mean, he's not as good as Bosch, Brook Lopez, or Domantas Sabonis. I'm sorry, he's not as good as any of those three. So they're the guys we're comparing him to as a similar. Like he's slow. He is very, very slow, and his interior offense isn't good. Yes, he can block shots really well, but his defense isn't elite. Like the problem is now is that you can't just be a shot blocker and get away with it. Like Brook Lopez is almost as good a shot blocker as Rudy Gobert. Like he's got low speed, low lateral quickness, and the difference is that I don't think he comes with clamps either. But the whole thing is with me is that you have to assume 80% of the games you play online, you're playing one of these 5 centers, playing one of these 5 S tier centers, or you're playing a Wilt or a Porzingis or an Ayton or even a Bosch or Lopez. The only of those players that he can even deal with are Bosch and Lopez. And like Bosch is way better, way faster. Lopez can't deal with these guys either, but at least Lopez is a much better version of Rudy Gobert. So Rudy Gobert, C tier. Wayne Embry, A. Shaq. Shaq is B tier on current gen, A tier, A plus tier on next gen. Shaq is like basically, again, if you guys have just watched Shaq next gen, he's just a demigod. He's just a demigod. You give him the ball, you hold turbo. He has super speed. He runs down the floor. And then eventually you either drop step dunk on somebody or you spin dunk on somebody. He's unguardable. Wayne Embry was the best center in the game when he came out. He's definitely better than like a Dave Cowens. His jumper is not easy. Well, it's not good, but his timing's kind of easy. So if you get used to it, you're good. If you don't, you're kind of screwed. But yeah, so Embry is definitely a player that a lot of people were very, very high on when he came out last season. Was arguably, like, he was my #1 center in the game on my December list of top centers, but obviously the Chris Webber card coming out kind of changed everything, and the new season really changed everything. So a little bit lower, but still 8 tier. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. This is my center tier list. We got our 5 and S tier, we got our A tier, we got our B tier, C tier, D tier. We got our Rudy Gobert and Sim Vular in Worthless, and then we got the worst card in the game. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.